All right, hey guys, I'm gonna just talk a little bit about modern skincare again. This is just kind of piggybacking on my other video about why I don't use retinols and peptides and chemical exfoliants, and I don't do any Botox fillers, nothing. If it comes from the modern anti-aging arena, I avoid it like the plague. Oh, and that's a whole nother subject, the plague, okay? I definitely want to do a video on that. I think it might get struck down by YouTube. So I don't know. I'm going to hold off on that one for a little while because that's something interesting to talk about as well. But the whole anti-aging stuff is garbage, and I'm going to tell you why. So the entire beauty industry, from the anti-aging perspective, is all based on allopathic thinking, allopathic mindset, okay? And basically, it's to get a result regardless of the cost, to get an outward or some kind of measurable effect that they deem appropriate, or they deem valuable, they deem worthy, they deem as beneficial, okay? Regardless of the biological or physiological cost, all right? There's no regard to the human body and how it is actually affecting the body in the ways that are not desirable, all right? So you get a desirable effect, and it doesn't even mean it's a good effect. It just means it's something that you want, like less wrinkles or less acne, okay? I'm sticking to skincare at the moment, all right? And therefore, they call this a treatment, and they actually throw the word health in there, okay? So I have heard people say that retinols make your skin healthier. No, they don't. They make your skin unhealthy. They actually send signals to your skin cells that are the complete opposite of health, all right? They send a wounding signal to your cells, which creates chronic stress and keeps your skin in a chronic state of wound repair. That's not health. That's the opposite of health, okay? So when I say these people are stupid, they are stupid, okay? And I'm sorry, there is no other word. My daughter and I joke with each other all the time, and she goes, Mom, she goes, you've always said the word retarded, and now, of course, she uses it too. She said, you're so right. She's like, people are retarded. I'm like, there's no other word. People are retarded. They have made up their rules. They've changed the meaning of words to suit their narrative, okay? And they're all in on it. And the problem is that so many go along with this because they just don't have the critical thinking abilities to be able to see the bullshit, and they just go along with it like the good little sheep that they are. And they go along with it without questioning it, without remembering what they learned in science class, because when you study history of the system, okay, and you study the history of modern medicine and allopathic thinking, oh wait, they don't study any of that, do they? No, they don't. They only study what they're taught in school, which is run by the same corrupt system that controls the planet, okay? And again, I've talked about this in videos: military, big pharma, government, schools, education system, all the same, okay? They're run by the same cartels, right? The same mobsters, let's say, okay? So they're getting a very myopic education, but even within that myopic education, you do learn about the skin, okay? And you do learn about healing and injury and insult and wounds. You learn about the physiological process, and you learn about that, okay? So for you to turn around and say that wounding your skin with all of this shit is making healthier skin, no, it's not. It's not in any way. When you are putting retinols and chemical exfoliants and stuff on your skin, you are causing a chronic wound to your skin that your skin has to adapt to. It has to pump out all of these healing substances, okay, to make up for the fact that you're hurting your skin, you're damaging your skin, and your body is now in a chronic state of wound repair. Okay, that is not health. That is not health. That is not what health is. Health is when your skin is in a state of homeostasis. It's in a state of the natural feedback loops and the natural signaling of your own biology, not these external things. Okay, I don't even use bakuchiol. I don't even use things that are from natural sources that do similar things, because again, they're not good for your skin. All right, now you start getting into telomeres and the damage, and that I talked a little bit about in my other videos, so I'm not really going to get into that here. So they're going to tell me that using a washcloth isn't good for my skin, but yet then it burn your skin, cause a chronic wound, and tell you that that's better. Okay, I got news for you. Your repair system, your immune response, your healing response, okay, happens when you threaten your biological system, okay? With anything that threatens it triggers the same exact response. It's not different. It's the same response, okay? Now, my cloth that I use extremely gently is only removing that loose stuff that is just ready to detach. It is not removing my horny layer, okay? It is not removing my stratum corneum. It is not dissolving the glue that holds those dead skin cells together, which actually performs vital functions for your skin, all right? And it doesn't destroy my lipid barrier, all right? Among other things, okay? Those chemicals change your biome. It changes the natural way that your skin functions and forces it into an emergency repair process all the time, okay? That's not health. That's not health. So the whole anti-aging movement is complete bullshit, and they prey on people's insecurities, all right? Now, I get that there's people that have really serious problems with their skin, okay? And seek these out not just purely for vanity reasons, but for, other reasons. But these treatments still aren't healthy no matter what, okay? And there's way better ways to deal with skin problems that nourish your skin, nurture your skin, don't trigger the body's stress response, okay? And it would be something like this. Stuff I make, I don't sell. So I have nothing to gain. Anybody that sells you shit, you can't trust them. Anybody that promotes stuff because they're a doctor, have letters next to their name, or their job depends on it, you can't trust them. That's just the world that we live in. So whenever there's a price tag attached to something, and it keeps somebody in business, you can't trust them. And that's the problem. And it's pretty much true for everybody. I don't trust naturopaths. I don't trust medical doctors. I don't trust dermatologists. I don't trust estheticians. I don't trust teachers. I don't trust anybody. If your job relies on the information that you give, then you are not trustworthy. Sorry, someone's got to say it, okay? Now, that is not to say that if you have a job, everyone's got to make money in this world, and you do something that you believe in passionately, that's great. And put it out there. Put it out there that you're passionate about this, and this is why you do it, and this is why you love it. But when you make up the rules and you change the definition of words to suit your agenda, it's disgusting and it's despicable. And this, unfortunately, is the world we live in. And there is a chick on YouTube, I'm not gonna say her name, she's a chemist. And she talks a lot of bullshit. And I'm not saying everything she says is incorrect. It's not what I'm saying. But she does talk a lot of bullshit. And same thing. She likes to make up the rules. And she clearly is either a system plant or she's just so brainwashed by the system that she's doing their job for them, which again is disgusting. And, you know, these people saying that chemical sunscreens are safe, really? Because there's not a shred of fucking evidence to support that. Not any. None. As a matter of fact, the evidence that is out there is pretty damning. But again, still maybe a gray area for some people. It's not a gray area for me, but for some people, might still be a gray area. But there is no evidence that they are safe for our human biology and our human physiology. Zero. Okay? So when a dermatologist comes on YouTube and, you know, shows people saying how, you know, they don't want to use chemical sunscreens from their because they're toxic or whatever, and she gives the finger as she's smearing chemical sunscreen all over her face, she's retarded. Those are chemicals that get into the bloodstream, that get absorbed systemically into our tissues. They have no fucking idea how they interact with our human physiology. They're made in a laboratory with no sense of our human biology at all. I'm thinking it's bad. I'm thinking it's really fucking bad. And considering looking at the world and how many people are sick, chronic disease, autoimmune disease, cancer, all sorts of health problems, I'm thinking it's probably a really bad idea to smear all these man-made chemicals that have no studies whatsoever showing that they are safe for long-term use, especially using every day, especially on children, elderly. It's fucking irresponsible, all right? Flat out irresponsible. Not to mention, when you're using retinols and you're using all of that stuff and you're altering the way your skin works, you actually are allowing more of those chemicals to penetrate the skin because you've removed your protective barrier. It's dangerous. It's stupid. Stupid. Okay? And for people to say that mineral sunscreens are somehow less appealing to use, that's what I use. They're beautiful. They make my skin feel amazing, soft, beautiful, supple, no white cast. Beautiful. And are they chemicals? Yeah. It's all made up of chemicals. But they're not made in a laboratory. These are tried and true. Okay? They know that they don't enter into our bloodstream, or at least the zinc oxide doesn't. I'm not saying that elements of the sunflower oil or the beeswax doesn't, but they know that these are not harmful to the body because they're edible. You could eat them, okay? And zinc oxide, you actually could eat it too, but I'm just saying the zinc oxide doesn't penetrate into the system either. A little bit of the zinc might come through, but you know, it's a nutrient, you know, in a very low dose that would actually get into your body because the zinc ions do kind of split apart. But I don't think there's too much systemic absorption. And even if it was, it's zinc. It's a nutrient, not a synthetic chemical made in a lab that has absolutely no business inside of a human body or on your skin. And again, you might get a benefit, but how many negative effects are you getting from that? The thing is, they don't know and they don't fucking care. That's the saddest thing, is that they don't care. And for them to say, well, we know the sun causes cancer. We don't know that these are safe, but we know that the sun is dangerous. So you need to smear these chemicals all over your skin to protect yourself. No. How about recommend the only 2 sunscreens that are actually approved and known to be safe and effective, which are mineral sunscreens? Why would you even recommend something, especially for children, that has absolutely zero scientific proof that they are safe? Now, even if the system were to come out with something saying they were safe, I wouldn't believe them, because I've done my research and I know what's out there and I know why they haven't done the studies. bad they are. And because there is no organization to step in and say, we're calling you out, they get away with it because it's self-regulated. And big pharma owns the watchdog agencies. They own the people that are supposed to be protecting us, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. And I hope you guys realize that by the time a product gets recalled, they've already known about the harm for many, 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 many years. All right? They only recall it when it gets to the point where they think the public is going to start to realize. That's when they finally recall a product. Okay? They know from the get-go that this product sucks and it's going to kill people. But we have just invested millions, if not billions of dollars on this. And we are going to put it out. We're going to recoup our losses. And then as soon as people start going, shit, and the doctors start going, shit, this is hurting too many people, then we'll recall it. And guess what? They're not criminals, are they? No, they're not criminals. They're chemical criminals. That's what I wanted to say. Chemical criminals. And the entire chemical industry are some of the most evil people on the planet. Now, I'm not saying everybody who puts on their lab coat and goes to work every day, okay? These are just plebs. These are just cogs in the wheel, okay? I am talking about the system, okay? The beast system. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. And you have to remember the people that, go to work every day in their little cubicles or their little, laboratories and their little lab coats, they have no idea what other people are doing. So they're working as isolated units and they are not aware of what is going on because, again, they're not smart people. I know you think they're smart because they have PhDs and shit. They don't make you smart. Makes you smart in an area. You might know a little bit about that area that you're focused on, but it doesn't mean you're smart in the ways that matter. That should be obvious by now, especially after you know what. I can't say it. It seems like everybody else can say it on their videos, but if I even mutter it under my breath, my video gets struck down. So this is where we're at. I'm a little fired up this morning, as you can tell, all right? A little fired up. It's really early too. Well, no, actually, I got up really, really early. I got up at 5:30, but it's not 5:30 anymore, but it's still pretty early. And I get a little fired up yesterday because I saw all the fucking chemtrails and shit. And I love how they try to gaslight us on that. I love how they gaslight us. It's like, it's so tragically funny at this point that they try to convince us that this is just like atmosphere stuff and it's just the typical contrails and it just turns into these big clouds that spread and cover your whole area and then stays cloudy for days. Like, they really want us to believe that. Really. Because I can tell you, this never happened when I was a fucking kid. Never. And are they going to say this is, because the atmosphere is so bad because of CO2 and global warming? They're full of fucking shit is what they're full of. But again, another video for another day, which I don't even want to talk about it. Honestly, I am so numb to that subject now as far as talking about it. It still riles me up because it just pisses me the fuck off. Like, I have to breathe this air, these fuckers. Like, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. We live in an evil world. But I will leave you on a better note. So, the sun is sending new signals to the planet, okay? And things are about to get real. And I think we are living in the times that a lot of ancient cultures have talked about, that many religions have hijacked, but that's here nor there. And it kind of looks like nature is finally putting the smack down. And it looks like nature might be ready to steal the show. And it's totally necessary. It's a little, I don't even know what the word is, but It's a little intense to think about what nature might do, but it looks like nature is starting to rewrite the story, because the forces that are in control are to the point now where our existence is threatened, to the point where if it doesn't get stopped, humanity will be gone. Because the transhuman agenda is here in our lap right now. A lot of people have already gone for it. And that's the end of humanity. And so I feel as if all of the things happening with the sun and the earth and people starting to come out of their coma, that this is really the start of something powerful. Some people call it an awakening, ascension, a remembering, what have you. But we live in interesting times. And don't think for 1 second that the anti-aging bullshit isn't part of this transhuman agenda. It is transhuman, because aging is a human response to life and death on this planet. The whole anti-aging movement is complete bullshit. And they're telling you a story that serves the agenda. Doesn't serve you. All right? Signing out.